Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to break down synergies in NHL 22. We had a huge change from 21 to 22 in the fact that they removed team-based synergies, so no longer do you have to hammer your team with cards that you don't like just to get certain synergies activated. It was a phenomenal change, but now we've got some more interesting team builder things because which synergies should we look to activate on cards? Because new X Factor cards actually have customizable synergies. So we're going to break down the ones that you want to pay attention for in this video. Guys, if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on. We're almost at 30,000 YouTube subs. And check me out on Twitch. I go live at noon Eastern time every single day. All right, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so let's just talk about the new concepts and the plan that you should have with synergies in NHL 22. So no longer should you just be looking to activate a synergy just to activate it because your team does not benefit from it. So what you want to do is highlight your best players. So for example, let's say Austin Matthews. A lot of players will have Austin Matthews as their best player, their X Factor. A lot of people got them in their pre-order pack as well as the new master item. So let's take a look at Austin Matthews here. Now, the one big change that they've made with synergies is that they really only gave skating synergies to players that are slower, that needed it. It's complementary. No longer are you going to see like Connor McDavid with distributor or fly the zone or anything like that. And I think that's a great change. It helps make up for the weaknesses of some of these cards. So I think that's a great change. And getting distributor on Austin Matthews is important because he's only at 88. Not that that's bad, but 90 is a pretty significant difference in my opinion. I think getting 90 speed allows him to keep up with some of the best players in the game currently. So what you want to do, you have this Austin Matthews. Let's say you upgraded him. Distributor, you should look to activate because you want to improve your best cards. Okay, so let's fill out your second line. I don't think that you should pay attention to distributor on your second line, but your third and fourth line, if you could sacrifice a little bit to get cards that have distributor. Now, I'm not talking about going out and getting bronze or silver cards because your fourth line is still going to be on the ice. But what you want to do is just go over to the auction house, and I'll show you how to do this right now. You go to browse auction, and you're going to hit triangle or Y, go to synergy style, and then go all the way down to distributor. All right, so we're looking for cards that have distributor, but you want to go to overall rating, and let's set it at 80. All right, so you want to find cards that aren't absolutely going to kill you in terms of, in terms of activating this synergy. So we also want to make sure that it's forward. And now let's see. So you want to try and find cards that are actually half decent skaters. So Tomas Hertl, for example, who I love, has distributor there and would actually be a pretty good card right out of the gate. He's going for about 7 or 8K because of that trade-in set, but that would be the kind of card you want to look for to help activate him, because getting an activated on Austin Matthews, who's going to be your main offensive, like your main offensive focal point, is going to be important. Chris Kreider would be another good card, gets up to 88 there. So those are the things that you want to do. You don't want to just activate distributor with third and fourth liners for the sake of having distributor activated. If one of your best cards does not have distributor, do not focus on getting it activated. It's only going to hurt your team overall, because getting that +2 to speed, it's usually only on the slower players because they try to help make up for it. But there'd be no point. Let's pretend I don't have Austin Matthews. I have someone else there. Why would my third and fourth line have all cards that are much worse just to get distributor activated? So the new way to focus on synergies is to find and highlight your best players and then invest in making them better. Now, I will say this. Distributor is going to be one of the best synergies to activate, and the reason for it is because it gives you +3 passing, +3 puck control, and +2 to speed. All three of those are very, very important stats. Durability, obviously not at all, but those other three are very important. And like I said, they do come on cards that are slower. So, for example, John Carlson, without distributor, he becomes a much different player. The reason why I love John Carlson is because he's got 88 speed. You put him down to 86, and now he's in line with someone that's, like Victor Hedman, obviously a left-hander, but Victor Hedman, and he's 3 inches shorter. So, like, that's a significant disadvantage. So you want to make sure that if you have your higher end cards that have distributor, you want to get that activated, as it is one of the better synergies. All right, so outside of the speed synergies, because those are pretty self-explanatory, let's talk about ones that I'm focusing on and that I really, really enjoy so far in NHL 22. And honestly, one of my favorite is Thief. It comes on a lot of cards. So there is a ton of cards that have Thief as an option, whether it be in a customizable thing or just out of the gate. And the reason why I like Thief is because defensive awareness is one of the most important, if not the most important defensive stat in the game. Defensive awareness, guys, if you haven't watched my attribute video, go back and watch that. It goes through exactly what every single attribute actually does. So defensive awareness is what determines your player's ability to intercept passes. So defensively, it is like the most important. You want to be able to make sure that you pick off those passes. So defensive awareness, huge increase. +5 to faceoffs. I've talked about it a lot. Faceoff rating does not really mean anything much anymore online, even though it didn't ever, but now people are starting to become aware of it. However, adding to it for your centerman, it does give you a benefit because it does help if you and your opponent do the exact same faceoff move. So it's not like it offers no benefit. It's just not something you want to focus on entirely. 1 to slap shot power isn't really much at all, but that's nice. And then +5 to stick checking with after defensive awareness. Stick checking is the most important. What stick checking does is when you tap R1, not hold it, but when you tap R1, the higher the stick checking stat, the more accurate. So when you hit R1, it will target the puck. So if you have 99 stick checking, it is going right for the puck. It also increases the speed at which your player does the poke check. So with 99 stick checking, when you hit R1, it is going to be awfully tough for your opponent to move out of the way of that. They basically have to time it correctly. So it's an absolutely devastating one if you have a player with high enough defensive awareness and stick checking. So Thief is a great one. And I think a lot of people are overlooking it because outside of centerman, they're like, oh, why? It has faceoffs. Why do I want that on, a defenseman, for example? Seth Jones with Thief on makes all of his defensive awareness and stick checking way higher. On top of that, he gets a higher shot power. So again, guys, Thief is one of my favorite early on. The other one I really like is Applesauce. And again, it's one of those ones that has a lot of usefulness. So hand-eye, 2 to hand-eye, 4 to passing, 4 to stick checking, 2 to wrist shot accuracy. Those are 4 important stats. There's no burner stat in here. All of those are very, very important. Hand-eye, especially it's more for offensive players, obviously with hand-eye as well as passing. Stick checking is great, obviously, like I mentioned, and then 2 to wrist shot accuracy. This is a great forward synergy. So again, I wouldn't go out and look to try and hammer Applesauce in, but if you're trying to decide between your customizable options, I would go Thief first and then Applesauce for sure. And again, it all depends on the player. If you want to make sure that you're helping out the player the most, like, if you want to bring up his passing, then you want to bring up Applesauce. If you want to bring up his stick checking or defensive awareness, go Thief. So Applesauce is a great forward synergy to go out and grab. For defensemen, one that I have started messing around with is Bombarded. The one thing I will say is that Bombarded for defensemen, obviously important because of the fact that slapshot accuracy is so low for defensemen early on. It's something that obviously all overalls for defensemen, their defensive stats are so high. So some stats have to come down. Usually it's speed and slapshot accuracy. So slapshot accuracy is usually very low out of the gate, so a synergy that allows you to help increase that is going to help out. The one thing I will say is that its 2 other stats are just not very useful in terms of aggression and discipline. I will say that discipline, while I thought was a completely useless one, talking with the EA developer Ben Ross, he actually enlightened me with the fact that discipline will actually help you receive penalties less. So the higher the discipline stat, the less chance you'll get an elbowing call or a tripping call. So it does have some value. It's not the end all be all, but it does have some value online play, which I didn't think it did at all. So Bombarded is a nice one for defensemen, but it's super secondary. So this is like, if you take a look, some of my defensemen have it. So Victor Hedman has it. The reason why I like it on him is his slapshot accuracy is only 80. It's just one to look out for defensemen. I think for forwards, I would rather have wrist shots for the most part, but for defensemen, you can help with those one-timers. So now let's just go over some of the other ones that I think would be ones that you potentially would want to look out for or that have, some value. Heart and Soul, guys, just does not, in my opinion. So 3 to faceoffs, we've talked about it. While faceoffs are okay to it's a nice throw in, it shouldn't be something that you focus on. And then shot blocking, again, shot blocking is not really something online that really matters because you're in control. Shot blocking is going to help determine how fast you get down into a block or if your AI goes to block the shot. But in all honesty, you should be the one blocking the shot. 3 to balance and 3 to endurance. Those are the 2 least important skating stats. While they do have some value, they're not nearly as important as speed, acceleration, or agility. So Heart and Soul is not one that I would look to activate on my players. Fly the Zone. A lot of players that have Distributor also have Fly the Zone because, again, they're trying to make up for the lack of speed. I would much rather have Distributor because, again, so 4 offensive awareness is nice. Offensive awareness is obviously the opposite of defensive awareness. awareness. But what it does is it allows you to pick up loose pucks a little bit easier, but it's not nearly as important as defensive awareness. And then +2 to speed, obviously the same. +2 to faceoffs is whatever. And then 4 durability. I'd much rather have the benefits of distributor. So if you're trying to determine between those two, much rather choose distributor. Magician. So magician is definitely a secondary one. It's not one that I'm trying to activate, but if you could, it hits all of the major attributes that make it easier to deke and do the L2 moves and half spins and things like that, which are very important. So 3 agility, 3 deking, 3 puck control, and then +3 durability, which is not important. But it is a very nice synergy. The problem is that shot and speed are the ones that you want to focus on first, especially early on in the game. But magician on someone like Yager could make him really nice because you really notice those cuts and whatnot when you have magician activated. But again, it's not going to be one you want to go out and look for. All right, another one is going to be the choice between wingman and workhorse. This is the 2 acceleration synergies. I'd much rather have wingman just because it allows you to get 2 acceleration, 4 defensive awareness, and 4 passing. Discipline, again, does not matter. Workhorse gives you 2 acceleration, 3 endurance, 2 puck control, and 5 strength. Strength is like a modifier stat. While it is important, you're not really going to notice +5 strength at all. And puck control is nice, but it only gives it +2. I think that wingman with the defensive awareness bonus is just a little bit more effective. So if you're choosing between workhorse and wingman, because a lot of those players that have one will have the option to choose between the other one, I would much rather go wingman. Light the lamp is another one that I do really like for forwards. 3 balance, 3 hand-eye, 3 offensive awareness, 2 to wrist shot. Very, very good for your forwards. I like applesauce a little bit more, but light the lamp is definitely one that I know a lot of players early on will be able to activate. So after your skating synergies, like fly the, or for distributor, for example, light the lamp would be the next one I would look at for forwards. I do like applesauce a little bit more, but light the lamp is very, very good as well. Well-rounded, in my opinion. Just doesn't offer enough, I think, early on. 2 to endurance, 3 defensive awareness, 3 offensive awareness, 2 wrist shot power. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of the cards that have it just aren't going to benefit a lot from it. I think they'll benefit a lot more from some of the other ones. Spark is very important as well as another one of those acceleration ones. 4 body checking, 2 acceleration, and 2 deking. Honestly, I think I still would rather have wingman just because of the defensive awareness boost. Body checking is great, but, obviously size determines that a little bit more. And 2 to deking is really not going to help a lot of the cards that have it. So, like, if it's a defenseman, it doesn't really matter about deking. So just keep that in mind. Buzzing is another speed synergy, but it only gives +1. Has +3 stick checking, 3 hand-eye, and 3 agility. This is a very, very well-rounded one. I would still rather have distributor, but buzzing is really nice. The only problem is that obviously +1 speed, you're probably choosing between fly the zone, buzzing, or distributor. And I think that the extra 1 to speed is a little bit more useful. Just because you also get puck control and passing with distributor, which is a little bit more important. So I do like buzzing, but I like distributor just a little bit more. And then lastly, we've got protector and gladiator. Again, a lot of the same cards will have both of these. 4 defensive awareness, 4 deking, 4 shot blocking, 2 to accuracy. So obviously the shot blocking, not really important at all. I do like the accuracy on the slap shot, especially for defensemen. Gladiator's got 2 balance, 3 body checking, 3 shot blocking, 2 wrist shot power. This would be more of a forward one. If you're on defense and you're choosing between protector and gladiator, I'd much rather go protector. All right, guys, so I hope this helps with all of your synergy choices. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comment section, and please give the video a like if you did enjoy it. Also, join the Discord if you have any further questions. That is the easiest way to get a hold of me and my community. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.